I know this is a really bad way to start a comedy set, but I am so tired, you guys. I've got 2 boys at home. The 8-year-old exhausts my brain, and the almost 2-year-old just exhausts everything else. And last week I found myself alone, with nothing to do, and I thought, I should be napping. And I thought, why aren't I napping? And I started to snuggle down to have a nap, and then it was like, because I'm driving! I'm driving! I was on the DVP. I don't even know where I was going. I think I might have been running away, but I was just so tired I forgot. I just turned around and I went home. But some good things are happening. I'm no longer breastfeeding, so this is a sweet relief. And I was at the occasional job that I work a little while ago, and I overheard a woman that I work with, a work friend. I overheard her telling somebody else that she had to get home to breastfeed, and I was like, oh my God. I went up to her and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you had a baby. Like, how old is it? And she said 36 months. Now, I'm no mathlete, but do you mean 3? Like 3 years old? And I'm not judging her for how long she wants to breastfeed. I do not judge women for that because we're not allowed to. But what I will judge is her trying to trick me into thinking she's got a baby at home by giving me its age and month. I guarantee you if that kid wasn't still sucking on her boob, he would be 3. It's like me saying, of course my son wets the bed. He's only 96 months old. Or, yeah, my husband always curls up into the fetal position and sobs after we have sex, but the poor thing doesn't understand what's happening to his body. He's only 516 months old. I just wanted her to own it, you're breastfeeding a little man. Just own it. But it's when you're a parent, it is ridiculous the things you find yourself saying out loud in public places. A couple of days ago, I was in the bathrooms at the Dufferin Mall, and I blurted out, "Ooh, stinky bum!" Only I wasn't with my kids that day. Getting back to a regular shower schedule is going to be pretty sweet. So now that I'm a 492-month-old woman, I'm getting a little nostalgic, and I was thinking back. I've been thinking back to this time in my life. It was grade 7, grade 8, when I unwittingly became the leader of the pack, of the girl group at my school. I had no qualifications for this job at all. I have never been the type A personality, usually associated with that post. I've always been more of a type O, well. But all that I did was I started dating the most popular boy in school. That's it. Instant status. I know it's bullshit, but that's how it worked. And all the girls in my class were like, you? And I was like, yes, me. I will lead us into womanhood. And I tried my best. I tried my best to be sort of like know-it-all, seen-it-all, but there was one night we were all out at the movies. This is all we ever did. I lived in Barrie, Ontario at this time. There was nothing else for us to do. I clock all my firsts by movies. So first kiss, Down and Out in Beverly Hills. First French kiss, Solar Babies. Anybody? Jamie Gertz. First hand on penis, through a rugby pant, Howard the Duck. Anyway, so we're all there. We're waiting for our parents to pick us up after the movies, and the rude boy in our group came over to us, and I was so naive back then. This guy's name was Christian Cutbush. I didn't realize he had a dirty name. That's how naive I was. Anyways, he came over to us, and he made a comment about masturbating, and then he wandered off, and all my girlfriends are looking at me going, Jeanie, what's masturbating? We were 12 or 13 years old. I'd never heard the word. I'd certainly never done it. But they were looking at me like, And I was the leader of the pack. Like, I had a role to play. So without even missing a beat, I remember it so clearly. I like tossed my hair and I was like, it's got something to do with your period. It doesn't. I went home and I looked it up in the dictionary. To pleasure oneself. That was it. I was like, oh. And so now I'm haunted by, which one of my poor misinformed girlfriends lived out this scenario. Mom, I masturbated for the first time last night. There's blood everywhere. Not my fault. Talk to your children about these things before an asshole like me does. There's a lot of things I wish I could take back, lots of things that I've said. For example, I wish that I could take back all the times I've said about a guy, oh, he's really nice, but ooh, he's got a weird relationship with his mother. That one's really gonna bite me in the ass because I'm a mom to 2 sons now. And it's weird. It's a weird relationship. Weird things happen. And of course I say no when my son asks me to do things like, I don't know, tickle his penis with my hair. Of course I say no. But I felt really bad about it because my instinct was to be like, get lost, you little perv! But then I would have had to have explained to him what perv meant, and I didn't want to. So I panicked in the moment, and I was like, oh, baby, I'm not in the mood. Probably not the best response either. But I talked to my husband about it after, and all he said was, well, you can't blame him for asking. So now all I can hope is that, when my son is older, he never hooks up with some pop psychology spewing little slut like I was. Or my mother was, for instance. My mother once dumped a guy because she overheard him call his mom Mommy. And she was just like, no. Now, mind you, she also once dumped a guy because she saw his windbreaker catch in the wind. A job that it is designed to do. But it made him look like he had a humpback. So clearly my mother is a very shallow woman. But to her credit, this guy did have a weird relationship with the wind. That, and he was always asking her to tickle his penis with her hair like his mummy used to, and she was just like, woo! Anyways, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks, Dawn, for having me on. Jeanie, everyone! Keep it going! Keep it going for her!
That was funny. I just am going to talk about Barrie, Ontario for a second, where Jeanie's from. I took a road trip with my sister.